Now, let's check out these two questions on quadratic equation. Now, see it, we're still factorizing. I told you we're going to be solving a lot of questions under this topic. Now, let's start with this. Now, we are told to factorize 2s squared plus 13s equals to 15. Now, so you have this question, 2s squared plus 13s to be equals to 15. Now, the first thing you need to do is to bring this 15 back to this side. So you have 2s squared plus 13s minus 15 to be equal to 0. Now, I remember from our previous class, we talked about the sum of roots and also the product of roots. Now, the sum of roots from this equation here, this plus 13s, while the product of roots is minus 15. But no, there's a twist to this. Now, remember the general formula, the general equation is as squared plus bs plus c equals to 0. Now, the sum of the root will always be this. Now, the product of root, the product is AC. That is, you multiply the coefficient of this s squared, which is a, by the constant value. It will give you the product. Now, from here, now you can simply have the sum of root to be 13 plus 13, while the product of root will be minus 13. Now, the next to do is to look for two values. Now, in which, when you add it together, when you add the two values together, you have this plus 13. And when you multiply the two values together, it's to give you minus 13. Now, the two possible values are 15 and 2. Now, also, we have several others, but the two probable value are 15 and 2. That is your plus 15 and minus 2. And minus 2. Now, when you add plus 15 plus 2, you have this plus 13. And when you have plus 15 multiplied by minus 2, this will give you minus 13. So from here, we can come back here to have 2s squared minus 2s plus 15s minus 15 to be equal to 0. Now, so your minus 2s plus 15s is the same thing it's the same thing as plus 13s. So we bring the first two together and the last two together. So from here, you can have 2s squared minus 2s plus 15s minus 15. Now, when you multiply this, like plus, what is a C plus? Plus multiplied by this, you give you this. Plus multiplied by minus 15, you have minus 15. So everything equals to 0. So we factorize, that's if we bring out the common expression, the common value. So we have 2s, 2 and s are common in both. So you have s minus 1. And the common value here too is what? Is 15. So you have s minus 1 equals to 0. Now note, when you multiply this thing, when you expand this equation, you must get this. And when you expand this, you have to get this. So we have 2s plus 15. That is, we bring the values outside together, which is 2s plus 15. Then we have s minus 1, s minus 1. We pick only 1. So you have s minus 1 to be equal to 0. So the two values will be 2s plus 15 equals to 0 and s minus 1 equals 0. So you have s to be what? To be minus 15 divided by 2 and s to be equals to plus 1. So you can still bring this one down further, maybe, so that it be minus 7, 1 over 2 and s equals to 1. So these are the two values for this expression. And also for this, so you have q squared minus 11q plus 24 to be equal to 0. So the same thing, the sum of roots and the product of roots. The sum is minus 11. What the product? Now note, the coefficients of this. Now remember, as squared plus bs plus c. I told you that the product should always be ac. That is, you multiply the coefficient of s squared by the constant value. Now the coefficient of s squared here, which is q squared, is 1. So 1 times 24 is t plus 24. Now the next thing to do is to look for two values, in which when you add the two values together, you have minus 11. And when you multiply the two values together, it's plus 24. So the two positive values will be 8 and 3. 8 plus 3 is 11, and 8 multiplied by 3 is 24. Now for the sign, it will be minus 8 and minus 3. Minus 8 minus 3 will give you minus 11. And minus 8 multiplied by minus 3 will give you plus 24. So you come back here. So that will be q squared. For me, you can have plus, or let's say minus 8q minus 3q plus 24 to be equal to 0. Now, minus 8q minus 3q will give you this. So you bring the first two and the last two together. So you have q squared minus 8q. Here, 3q plus 24. Now note, for the sign, if you put minus here, when you expand this expression, you have minus 3q. But this one becomes minus 24. But what we need is plus 24. So this has to be minus. So that when you expand this expression, minus times 3q will give you minus 3q. And minus times minus 24 will give you plus 24. The m is equal to 0. So now, let bigger the common value here. So we have q. Like the q minus 8. And the common value here, like 3 can go in both. So you have minus 3. Q minus 24 divided by 3 is 8. So you have equals to 0. So the one outside, you bring the two values together. So you have q minus 3. So you pick only one of these. Q minus 8, which is equals to 0. So it's either your q minus 3 equals to 0 or q minus 8 equals to 0. So you have q to be 3 or q to equals to 3. And these are the two values for this expression.